welcome to another episode of Level Up CX Live, where we discuss the biggest trends and opportunities in customer experience. We are coming to you live today from the Orchestrator stage on the Expo Hall here at Genesys Experience, where 3,000 members of the Genesys community have gathered this week for inspiration, education, and celebration. I'm joined today by Adam Mitchell from Voya Financial. He's the head of enterprise business solutions at Voya Financial, and we're going to talk with Adam about how Voya is putting AI-powered experience orchestration into practice. What y'all are doing, what you've learned along the way, and what's coming next. Adam, thank you so much for being here.
It's my pleasure, Greg. Thanks for having me.
So let's start with a softball. Talk a little bit about yourself, your role, and what Voya Financial is all about.
Yeah, so Adam Mitchell, Voya Financial. I get to lead our enterprise business solutions team. So really responsible for the technology stack that's rooted in Genesys Cloud to deliver best-in-class capabilities for Voya, for our customers, and for our employees. In addition to Genesys Cloud, I'm responsible for the integration with Salesforce. Also some back office workflow technology, in addition to reporting, incident management, and operational readiness.
So not a lot, just like
just a little bit. It's enough to keep me busy.
I can imagine, yeah. So we've heard a lot here at Experience about the levels of experience orchestration, maturity model to help folks understand like where are they on their journey to AI-powered experience orchestration, how they're transforming their customer experience, and how to quantify the benefits. So you've at Voya Financial, you've been on this journey leveling up your customer and employee experience for a while now. What does that journey look like? And what has it meant for the company and for your customers?
Yeah, great question. So our journey really began with Genesys in 2016 when we first deployed our initial on-prem Pure Engage solution. That on-prem solution served us really, really well throughout the COVID era. But then quickly coming out of COVID, we realized that cloud-based technology was really the next step for us. We wanted to reduce our footprint within our data centers, and we wanted to just be more nimble and be able to keep pace with the business. So coming out of 2020 into 2021, we really took a hard look at Genesys Cloud. Again, we were interested in the rich roadmap, the capability, the nimbleness of the platform. And so really we pursued in 2021 our initial migration over to Genesys Cloud. And the things that really struck me the most was the speed to market. I mean, literally we had deployed Genesys Cloud from an IVR perspective, an intelligent routing perspective, soft phone integration with our first line of business within 6 months of first signing the contract to go to Genesys Cloud. We kind of chunked up our migration into consumable bite-sized portions, and within 18 months of signing the deal, we were fully rolled out at enterprise scale, about 18 months.
Yeah, and I think there's a couple things that really struck me in your answer. One is the idea of all of the benefits that come from just being in the cloud, right? Sure. We get the scalability, we get the adaptability, we get the continuous innovation, but you also talked about bite-sized chunks, right? And I think sometimes people can really struggle with, how do I get started with this stuff? So that leads me to my next question, was you're clearly being thoughtful and intentional about your CX transformation. And the topic of the year, of the past few years, has really been AI, right? Absolutely. And how it's transforming, not just CX, but certainly CX in a big way. Can you highlight a couple, 3 areas where you're seeing AI having an impact in CX for Voya?
Absolutely. So the first thing I'll say about AI and the CX transformation is you have to take it at your pace, right? You have to meet your organization and your customers where they're at. Don't try to boil the ocean. Don't try to move too fast. But at the same time, it's very, very important to make incremental steps, incremental progress in your journey. The biggest AI initiatives that we're going after right now is really in the form of voice bots and agent assist right now. Those are our primary focuses. When you think about voice bots, we are trying to really uproot and redefine what an IVR experience looks like. You know, gone are the days of traditional IVR menuing and subjecting your customers to intents that they really have no interest in.
And having them hammer 0000.
In the real time, right. So we're transforming about to, hey, my name is Adam, I want to allocate my 401k, and taking them right into that reallocation menu, taking them right where they need to be. So voice bots is a huge focus on from a customer empowerment perspective. Secondary to that is agent assist, right? Somebody said in the keynote that your customer experience is only as powerful as your employee experience. And one of the things that we're really priding ourselves on is making it easier for our CSAs, for our agents to do their job. One of my cornerstones that I remind my team of all the time is that our agents have the hardest job in the firm. So we want to make sure that we have a solution for them to where they're not having to go 5 deep and 6 wide to find knowledge information to relay back to the customer. We want to make sure that they're empowered with correct and accurate information, and so Agent Assist is really a focus of ours right now.
Yeah, and I think that notion of really making sure to stay connected between EX and CX is really important, because not only is that an efficiency play, but like y'all are in a business where people could be calling you on their best day. Hey, I just won the lottery last night, or they could be calling you in times of real distress. So freeing up the agents to have the mental space and the information at their fingertips to be able to respond like that's got to be huge.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. So our first crawl, stand, walk, run. Our first go around with Agent Assist was really auto summarization. So we have a line of business that we're spending a lot of time after the call in an ACW form to create notes, right? Create notes, and then we came in with Genesys Cloud Copilot and really leveraging that auto summarization feature. I think it's a great capability to go after and start to do POCs and start to do pilots around that. It's something that's relatively low risk, but high impact to your organization and high impact to our contact center. As soon as we rolled that out virtually overnight, we saw the ACW statistics start to dry up and some other KPI improvements just based off of that one capability, one feature of Copilot.
Yeah, the other thing that strikes me in that is that for people who may be a little bit hesitant, how am I going to deploy these technologies? If you can find a good use case that's internal facing, right?
Absolutely.
It's a way to get going.
Start small, low risk, but high impact, and then move from there.
Yeah. Okay, so the industry is evolving, right? When we were here a year ago, agentic maybe wasn't even a gleam in anyone's eye.
Right.
So this shift to the experience economy continues to accelerate. The shift to AI and its capabilities continue to accelerate. So put on your prognostication hat. If you look out a year or two, what are the trends either in the customer experience or the employee experience that you're watching and that you think your peers should really be paying attention to?
The agentic AI piece and AI in general is you're right. It's a great buzzword and it's a great vision and it's a great goal to pursue. I can't stress enough the need for robust data and clean data behind your agentic AI or any AI that you're going to be deploying. It's a great, it's a great goal to go after, but having a strong repository of correct and accurate customer data and customer information, and then also a strong repository of accurate knowledge management is going to be key. You don't want to be fueling these new bots with bad information, because that's how you have a bad bot experience. So when I look at the future, I think more transparency around bots. Also not trying to hide the fact that the customer experience is going to be with a bot. So for example, with our voice bots rolling out this year, we're not trying to hide the fact that you're interacting with a voice bot. So I think people's focus and their mindset should not be on faking out the customer to think that they're talking to a person when they're really talking to a bot, but being transparent with them and say, like this bot is being rolled out, it's 2025, we shouldn't be spending precious human capital on doing something like an address change or a simple transaction. That all should be done in an automated space within the bot space, and we need to really preserve our human capital for those moments that a human really needs another human to interact. So I think there's going to be more of a presence with bots. I think the need and the focus on clean data is going to be huge, and I'm really happy to hear all of the information about the Genesys Cloud Data Lakehouse that you all are rolling out. I think that's going to be really a prerequisite to a strong bot presence. And then I foresee a day where contact centers are going to be augmented with your virtual queues that are staffed with human beings, and then an augmentation of virtual queues that are staffed with virtual agents. Again, taking those transactions and taking those interactions that's more appropriately served with a bot versus a human.
Yeah, I'm going to pick up on one of those and ask you a follow-up, which is the notion of being transparent with the customer as to whether or not they're interacting with AI or a human. We did some research earlier in the year, And about 80% of consumers said, as long as my issue gets solved, I don't really mind whether it's a human or a virtual agent. But at the same time, they said overwhelmingly, I want to know that I'm interacting with AI. And so to talk about how you think about those kind of trust and transparency issues, not necessarily at a technical level, but at a philosophical and almost like a values level.
Building rapport with your AI bot is going to be just as important, building rapport from a human to human interaction. And I think one of the quickest ways to build rapport in an AI space is to be transparent with your customer base on why the bot is here, what the bot is supposed to do, and how ultimately the bot can benefit their life. To second that, you mentioned something that's very interesting, and I'll kind of tie this back to KPIs. As we move forward as a society, it's not about being courteous. It's not about saying Greg 3 times in the call. It's about outcome-based performance. People want to know that when they get to the point of talking to a customer, interacting with an agent, whether it be through the chat channel or the voice channel, that their outcome is going to be resolved. And not resolved in 7 days from now or 7 hours from now, but resolved right away. And I feel that our customer base is going to be satisfied with that resolution, regardless of whether it's coming from an AI bot or a human being.
Yeah, I think that resonates with me as a consumer, right? I value my time, I value the relationship with the brand, but I want my thing solved, and I want it solved now, and I'm less concerned about the how and more about the fact that it actually got resolved.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, Adam Mitchell, thank you so much for joining us today on Level Up CX Live and sharing your experience and your expertise with us and with our audience as well. Be sure to follow Genesys on LinkedIn to hear about more Level Up CX episodes. We're doing these all the time. And Adam Mitchell from Voya Financial, thank you again for joining us.
Happy to be here, Greg. Thank you.
Have a good day, all.
Bye-bye.